stepmom who got shunned by her own children for being uninvolved all their lives thinks she can undo it all and play happy family with me, and in a pathetic attempt to do the same shreds crocodile tears at a family event that had nothing to do with her. But turns out she just ruined everything because I lost it and called her out on her BS straightway. Now she and dad are claiming that I created a scene at an event that had nothing to do with us, but I'm laughing in their face because this isn't even the worst of what they're going to see. So I'll just get into it. Earlier this week, I attended my cousin's wedding with my dad and stepmom, and at the rehearsal dinner, there was a huge scene with my family, and my dad is blaming me for it, but I don't think it's my fault. I think it was Linda, my stepmom, who crossed the line, and that's why I lost it at her. For context, somebody was talking about my wedding, which is coming up in a couple of weeks, and all of a sudden, Linda started making it about herself. All three of us were seated together at the same table, and my dad's brother and his family were also sitting with us. So it was my uncle who brought up the topic of my wedding, and he was actually discussing it with me. So there was no reason for Linda to interject anyway, but she did. And all of a sudden, she started talking about how she had been very excited to be the one to do the Motherson dance, but that there were just a couple of weeks to go, and I still hadn't asked her. So she's assuming that I'm not planning on having her do the dance. She started talking about how disappointed she was, making it very awkward for everyone at the table because nobody knew what to say. And then all of a sudden, she actually started tearing up. Under ordinary circumstances, people might have felt bad for her, but I didn't feel bad for her at all because I knew exactly what she was trying to do. She was trying to make me feel bad for not asking her to do the Motherson dance because right now, I was her only shot at having that moment at all since neither of her own sons is close to her. So she had been feeling very emotional about all of this, and my dad had told me about it already. He had even tried to convince me to ask her to do the dance, but I refused because Linda had only been a part of my life for the past 5 years. If she had been my stepmother for most of my life and had actually been a mother figure to me, I might have considered asking her. But that's not the case. I didn't even meet her until I was 18 and my dad started dating her. So I don't know why they were even expecting me to ask her. Besides, I'm not some replacement kid that she has as a backup. My own mother passed away when I was 13. And in honor of her, I'm going to do the dance alone because nobody can ever replace her for me. So my dad had some guts even asking me to entertain the idea of having Linda do the Motherson dance, especially when he knew what I was planning on doing. On top of that, when he knew that I wasn't okay with Linda having these sorts of expectations from me, he should have discouraged her from pressing the issue further. But at the rehearsal dinner, when Linda started tearing up, he took a very accusatory tone with me and said that, given the fact that she's my stepmom, this is the least that I can do for her and at least ask her to do the dance at this point since she's crying, and this obviously means a lot to her. That's when I finally snapped. Until then, I was still holding back because I didn't want to ruin my cousin's rehearsal dinner with an outburst, but they had been getting on my nerves about this for the past couple of weeks, and I just couldn't handle this anymore. So I told her off then and there. I called her out on her behavior and said that she was just being a huge phony because I knew exactly what this was about. She was just upset that she was never going to get the opportunity to be the kind of mother that others are, and it's nobody else's fault but her own. I've spoken to her other sons. Both of them are slightly older than me and are already married. I've met them several times over the past few years, and they are really nice people. We get along well, and they've also confided in me about how they are not very close to Linda because she was always uninvolved in their lives and always kept her distance from them, even when they were kids. And after she divorced their father when they were in middle school, she was supposed to spend the weekends with them. But even then, she would cancel quite frequently, and slowly they just grew apart. Only recently did she start trying to get back into their lives once again, but it was too late. They are used to living without her now and have shut her out. And they have told me that judging by her behavior around me, they could see that she was trying to be more